That's my rather jealous response to seeing Donald Trump's no-nonsense approach since his inauguration just last week. It really seems like there's just no stopping him. No faffing about whatsoever, starting with a flurry of executive orders doing everything from scrapping Biden policies to getting government workers back into the office and withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty. That's how it's done. His latest move also has me cheering him on as he embarks on his historic second term as US president, and I'm certain it has left Brits across the land feeling extremely envious. Why on earth our politicians can't get their backsides into gear and show the same kind of gumption? Over the weekend, Mr. Trump threatened to slap Colombia with huge tariffs if they didn't accept a plane of immigrants US border officials wanted to send back to the country. Colombia, bizarrely, refused to accept its own people, until the president bared his teeth. Just hours after Trump threatened the steep tariffs on imports and other sanctions on a longtime U.S. partner. Colombian Foreign Minister Luis Gilberto Murillo said that they had overcome the impasse and will continue to receive Colombians who return as deportees. Rupert Lowe, Reform UK MP for Greater Yarmouth, jumped straight on the bold move and posted on X to champion Trump. He said, Trump unleashes a wave of punishment measures on Colombia after they refuse to accept deportees from the U.S. This is the way we must follow. Starting with the £133 million going to Pakistan in foreign aid. Use that to get foreign rapists and criminals out of our country. And who could argue with him? Certainly not me. But sadly, his wishes just seem like a pipe dream. It took us Tories years of faffing about and millions of taxpayers' money before we could jet an utterly pathetic total of 4 asylum seekers to Rwanda. The idea was one I still fully endorse, but lefty lawyers blocked it and we, like Colombia it seems, collapsed under the slightest bit of pressure. Now with Smash the Gang's Starmer at the helm, there is even less chance of him taking a leaf out of Trump's book. With the scourge of small boats and illegal migration not even making it to one of his big vows to the nation. I suppose at least Trump's forthright attitude has not been totally lost on the Labour administration, with a surprise new fangirl in the shape of none other than Rachel Reeves. Yes, you read that right. She came out at the weekend and said that Britain needs to take inspiration from Donald Trump's positivity to boost economic growth. And I agree. From where I'm sitting, Trump is showing the UK exactly how to fix the economy and stop the boats. Although you'll have to forgive me if my praise for him comes with a glimmer of the green-eyed monster. Here is a summary of internet users' reactions. What is Trump doing different to Biden? Colombia has been accepting returnee migrants for years. The Colombian president objected to migrants being flown to his country with their wrists and ankles manacled. He wanted them to be treated with dignity, as human beings. Good on him. And why is anyone cheering Trump's withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement? Our grandchildren will not thank us for putting profit before the planet. Kindly note that an article in this newspaper, ECHR rule allows Albanian criminal to stay in the UK after he was deported. Of the 8th of October 2024, now contains a paragraph that says a previous version of this article stated the decision was made by the ECHR. This has now been amended to reflect that it was not their decision. Here is a chance for the UK government to solve the entire immigration, NHS overloading, housing shortage, infrastructure and energy overloading issues overnight, and save over £26 billion plus per year. The government needs to stop paying any state benefits to all non-UK citizens. Also stop them getting free education, free NHS, free everything else. If they cannot support themselves 100%, then they do not need to be here. That will save the country in excess of £20 billion plus per year. Not paying for all the rubber boat arrivals will save another £6 billion plus per year. That totals at least £26 billion plus saved per year, then add all the police, immigration, government, councils, etc. time and costs saved. Change the law so that all non-UK citizens must have full health insurance to visit and work in the UK, except for NHS directly employed full-time workers. Wake up and smell the coffee, Starmer and Company. Only 4 years and 5 months left. TikTok. So far, it's all just more smoke, mirrors, and BS from a failing UK government desperately trying to convince us that they are doing things right. With a £22 billion black hole growing bigger every day with every boat arrival and £15.3 billion paid out in foreign aid, £12 billion plus that the NHS wastes on private hospital treatments, £40 billion worth of taxes. and an extra £34.1 billion worth of borrowing. Repairing crumbling schools, hospitals and prisons cost at least £49 billion, £3 billion per year being wasted on Ukraine, all while forcibly cutting military and defence budgets. And now an extra £48 billion plus per year required just to meet the expected increase to the NATO 5% membership. Labour have removed more migrants from Britain in their first 6 months than in any other 6-month period over the past 5 years. Between 5 July and the 7th of December 2024, a total of 13,460 returns were recorded, including both enforced and voluntary returns, of which there were 3,690 enforced returns of people with no legal right to remain in the UK. This compares with 2,960 enforced returns over the same period in 2023, an increase of 25%. Of the total returns, 2,110 were of foreign national offenders, FNOs. This is an increase of 21% compared to 1,740 FNO returns in the same period of 2023. FNO returns include both enforced and voluntary returns. Good to see Labour getting things done, after years of Tory failure. Trump was unanimously voted in by the American people to remove criminals from other countries and those who come to America illegally. He won't stop. I see he's going after the Venezuelan G&Gs too. Could we do it too? While it takes a strong leadership and a belief that we have to secure our borders, Starmer is too much of our HR lawyers to even try. I'm in Bogota right now. Every comment to be heard or read is one of utter disgust and repudiation of their own President Petro. He was elected because previous governments had not made progress in the corruption department. What I see down here on the ground is a ginormous case of buyer's remorse. No sooner had he been sworn in than his son was found in possession of suitcases full of cash after buying several luxurious homes. Petros' brother was implicated in a scheme to sell pardons to imprisoned drug barons. A delegation of furious Colombian mayors is headed to Washington with the message that Petro does not represent the feelings of most Colombians. Trump gets the immigration ball rolling in the course of a couple of weeks, but here in the UK it has been 5 years and still no agreement, and as far as I am concerned there is no intentions of UK government stopping these illegals simply because they don't want to. If Trump can execute the operation in weeks, why have UK government taken years and years? What's more, I would like to know the truth behind it all, and I'm sure the other 58 million residents in the UK would also. All nationalists admire the Don's approach to removing foreigners who are not legally in his nation. Unfortunately, perhaps, the UK is not the US. It remains tied to the Euro way of doing things. Trump has no ECHR standing there blocking his every move to restore independence and sovereignty to his nation. Until or unless the UK decides to remove all direct and indirect influence and controls over our independent and sovereign nation status from the EU and other Euro organizations, it will remain very difficult, likely impossible, for us to simply chime in with the Americans with an us too chorus. Legal net immigration, after those who leave is deducted, adds every 3 years as official figures, some 2 million extra people to our population. Real reason for Labour's major state house building project. The UK knows how to stop the boats. The Tories were not really fussed one way or the other, so no action. The Labour Party are positively in favour of as many boats as possible. They see it as future votes and a low-wage economy because there will be a much bigger available pool of workers. Why the trades unionists cannot see how large immigration is bad for their members is astonishing. Labour want to concrete everywhere because they know that the population growth is heading towards its highest ever numbers at the fastest every rate.